ready to go live? You ready to open it?
You're live.
Okay, we call the Epton Accountability Board meeting to order, 5:30 p.m., Thursday, September 28th. Roll call. Bill?
Carol McIntosh, Joseph King,
Present.
Linda Booz,
Present.
Patrick Julian,
Present.
Billy Dantzler,
Present.
Micah Hutchison, William Harris, Paige Russo, Trishelle Bowling.
Here.
Okay, we had 6 present. Okay, anyone volunteer to lead us in prayer? Read it.
All minds clear. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you have given us once again. We thank you for allowing us to come together with similar minds. Lord, we ask that you give us a covering as we conduct this meeting, as we glorify you and not ourselves. We thank you in your Son, Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. Item number 4, public speaking. Anyone from the public like to speak?
Hello, everyone. I'm Doug Matthews, representing the 7th Ward. Today I want to revisit the Ashley Capital investigation concerning alleged gifts disguised as charitable contributions to 2 council members. Recently, 2 other council members introduced resolutions to expel the council members in question, but apparently lacking conclusive evidence and the resolutions failed. It appears some may be using this issue for political gain to attack the council members in question. Our community, however, would be better served by a fair pursuit of the truth that includes recommendations for appropriate action should any wrongdoing be uncovered. The credibility of the Ethics and Accountability Board is also at stake. We need a well-reasoned and politics-free report. This credibility is vital for your mission's effectiveness. This investigation is your chance to show the EAB's role in effective ethics enforcement. You need to proceed cautiously. Decisions must be rooted in relevant, reliable, and fair evidence, not assumptions. Hasty decisions can have far-reaching consequences. The implications extend beyond council members, affecting a significant Flint investor and respected nonprofits. A credible outcome can bring sides closer and solidify the EAB's role as the effective watchdog for ethics in Flint. I urge a thorough evidence-gathering process, unwavering due process, and transparent investigation. The community awaits a clear, well-reasoned, and transparent report that summarizes the investigative process, key findings, evidence, conclusions, and recommendations. Following this suggested outline will enhance the credibility of your report and demonstrate the EAB's commitment to ethical governance. Also in the spirit of transparency, periodic interim updates can assure the public while maintaining the investigation's integrity. These updates need not divulge sensitive details, but can offer a general overview of milestones achieved, interviews conducted, and evidence collected. Regular communication can keep our community informed without compromising the investigation's integrity. Lastly, remember you are guardians of our community's values and integrity. Pursue the truth, ensure justice. Our city depends on your diligence and fairness. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to ethics in Flint.
Thank you. Anyone have any comments on what the speaker spoke on?
I just want to mention that I left some copies of my statement with the ombudsperson. In particular, you might want to look at the outline I suggest for the final report.
Okay.
You have that?
Yes, I just, if you copy, I can
Yeah.
scan it and send it to everybody.
Okay, I can get it later when she scans it.
Okay, just, I just got it today.
Are you gonna email it?
I can,
Okay.
yes, most definitely.
Anyone else have any comments from any members?
Well, I just want to thank Mr. Matthews for writing out his information so that I can review it. And hopefully, we'll get an outcome about the Ashley Capital situation. Thank you.
I have questions about the donation. What is a Ashley Capital?
What is it?
Uh-huh.
Elton Capital is a company that has done the construction down on the whole View City.
Okay.
Anyone else have a person comment? Okay, I want to thank the speaker for coming, bring forth with the board, take all these complaints seriously, and we will do our best to answer and follow through with it. Any other public speaker? Any other public speaker? If there's no more public speaker, we will move on to the next item on the agenda. Open remark by the chair. Only thing I had today is I want to thank everyone for showing up for this meeting today so we can get down to work. Man, we hope we do some good work for the city today. With that, I'll move on to the review and change approval agenda.
Move approval.
Support.
Moved and supported. Approve agenda. There'll be no discussion. Second approval of the agenda by Walter, approved by Warren Holder, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed? We move on to the next item, review and approve of the minute.
Brother Chair, I just wanted to look at the language that was used on the public speaking from Mr. Doug Matthews, where it was talked about, he expressed the concerns in reference to the suspension of council persons. They didn't get suspended, so I don't think that word should be used. It should be saying the attempt to suspend, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Attempted suspensions.
Okay.
Just so that.
Duly noted.
Okay.
Any other correction?
I move that we accept the minutes from our previous meeting, 9/12/23.
Support.
Moved and supported to accept the agenda with correction. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And minute have been accepted. Ombudsman report, update.
Good evening, everyone. First thing, I know that we spoke about a hard copy of a complaint form, so I made a copy for everybody. This is what. Mostly when the person on the phone or in person, I write it down for them as I'm interviewing them.
What is this section?
A complaint form.
Oh, okay.
You got one? Okay.
Everybody got one. Complaint form. These are also made available. I made a little pocket outside of the ombudsperson's office, so that they're readily available to when people have any other meetings and stuff down there. They can take it, fill it out. I got envelopes down there so they can seal them and give them to me so they can, remain, private. And if there's any questions or something you would like to add to it, just. If you would like a complaint. Would you like to see? You, Mr. Matthews, would you care for one? I have a
Yes,
mess.
thanks.
Are you waiting on us?
Yeah, just to see if you wanted any change to it or.
Looks fine to me. The
Okay.
only thing
You
that
let me know later,
Yeah.
in the
Alright.
event, okay.
The only thing I would suggest is if they know of a particular rule or charter section that they feel is violated, I would put a provision in there where they can identify that.
Okay.
That kind of helps
Ordinance
us
chapter
to
violation.
narrow
Okay.
it down.
All right.
What I'd like to do is just let you know report,
Okay.
when you get through, whenever you quit.
Okay, and on the last item of discussion, with one of the complaints in reference to a sidewalk being repaired, and I need to get into a little more detail in reference to this complaint. I did reach out, and the unfortunate part for the constituent is that the sidewalk list is dated back 3 years. And at the moment, there totals 2,000 squares. DPW are working on a bid to spend $2 million of the ARPA funds that the city council gave the streets to repair sidewalks. The bid will be sitting out next week. This was the 13th. I think we all kind of know how things have not been able to be addressed to some of the council meetings, so it hasn't even been given to council yet. And it says the list of 2,000 squares will be the first on the list for the contractors. They will be replaced next year. We have several sidewalks on the priority list, but only one crew working on the sidewalks. And sidewalks is just one of their responsibilities. The ARPA funds will address and fix every sidewalk in every ward of the city, but it will not begin until next year. And the street maintenance of one of the persons, case number 12515-654, also expressed in this meeting. The company that was handling it is from Road Professional Services, and glad to report that they did lay the sidewalk. And the complainant constituent is happy. They just have to make a few repairs to his lawn. The other complaints that we've been getting in the office, quite a few, and I've been working directly with blight complaints. And as soon as I get the complaint, I email it or take it because blight is right next door. And if they haven't been ticketed already, they send an NSO out to those locations to check the location. They're taking pictures and bringing them back. And they're not issuing, like, if they get it done before, like, the hearing date, before paying a fee, they go back out again, take a picture, make sure everything is removed and everything is clean like it's supposed to be. Okay, that's it.
And they gave you this for the sidewalk, but they said the city's gonna repair the sidewalk and the resident is not gonna have to share in the cost of the sidewalks.
Right, yes. The one resident, his sidewalk has already been replaced.
I'm talking about, it's showing, they say 2,000 sidewalks,
Yes,
2,000,
She says 2,000 square feet.
2,000 square feet, that came.
Squares, that's what I meant, I'm sorry.
2,000 squares,
yes,
which would be five, it's 5 by 5, up to about $2 billion, about $1,000 a square.
Yeah, that's-
Each section, which is pretty high.
I was gonna say 1,000? That's a lot.
That's what they'll come up to. So I'm counting dollars, so not me.
Yeah.
So that's saving, well, doing sidewalk for you. But usually when the city, the path of this the sidewalk, but they tell the resident, we pay 50%, you pay 50. What I want to know is clarification, and we need to ask that question is the resident is going to have to get their sidewalk fixed, so they're going to have to put in 50% on this. If that's the case, then that number go way up. This making no state, I want, they need to give that something in writing on how that's going, how the process is going to work.
Now, the sidewalk is being repaired because they
The water
replaced
lines.
pipes, is that correct?
Yes.
No, oh,
That's a different contract.
no, this can't be the same thing. The water line replacement, what they brought was part of the water. Right. Now, we talking about sidewalk. I got you back. We talking about sidewalk that people complain about where it broke up trees and lifted up the
Oh, okay.
sidewalk and
Okay.
things like that. We need a clarification what that is, Mike.
From my understanding, because the trees do have to do with the sidewalk, there would be replaced at no cost to the, it's just the ARPA dollars would replace sidewalks without that 50-50 match. And then, because we have the tree side of that, like, does this tree have to go, does it not? I think it's just,
And that's the trees on the city side?
yeah, the city side.
Yeah.
So,
I hope that is what it is, but I'd like to see what they got for the residents, so they'll know what this consists of. Like we got one, people thinking that, residents thinking they can talk about the water line, that money's already set. And I would like to see what that looks like for the residents, because the residents need to know how they can apply for it. What it is and how they're gonna get that information out. I would like them to do some, get some information out so we can let residents know is what it consists of to get their sidewalk repaired. Anyone else have a?
So it's kind of like three different ways that your sidewalk needs to be repaired. It's in the disarray, that probably is a 50-50. If you have a tree on the city side of the yard and it's breaking up your sidewalk, then that probably going into the ARPA fund grant that they're trying to use. Then you have the restoration for the water pipeline replacement. So we got three different things, I believe.
What was the 50-50 one?
So like if you don't have a tree on your, and it's broke up and you trying to get it fixed, that probably is 50-50. But I don't know that if that what she's talking about is tree sidewalk replacement or disrepair, period. So that will give clarification.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Nobody knows. And we don't even know. They just throw something out there and nobody knows how they're gonna get it. Or where they even gonna get it. You know, a year from now. So we still got time for them to
Was it?
do that
It was
information
already
right.
presented.
Yeah, it was presented with the response of the, for the ARPA funds, that was for them removing a city tree. And it broke up her sidewalk. The last response, but I understand you want me to get more detail.
Tuesday or something.
Yeah, I mean, they have did that, they know what trees are, they know what sidewalk they're gonna put.
Yeah, they've already removed the
So
trees.
they could get that information out to the resident. Yours is on the list, yours is on the list, yours is on the list.
Okay.
Just putting something out there, nobody knows. Then people waiting on their sidewalk to get repaired, and they say, well, we ran out of funds. There's gotta be more, they need more detail for the residents. Anyone else? motion to accept the ombudsman report.
So moved.
Support.
Will support it? To accept the ombudsman report. You accept it by, vote of aye, if you accept it.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? We should move on to the discussion. I'm gonna change the order to this minute here, because top, this board is gonna have to leave us. So we're gonna move on to the ad hoc committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the ad hoc committee report, for those of you who don't recall, that committee is Carol, myself, and William. We had one assignment that we were working on that dealt with a previous complaint, and that complaint was from a councilman concerning the improper breakup of a city council meeting. We looked at footage ourselves. Shaxta, on our behalf and at our request, reached out to the city clerk to ascertain whether her official record of that meeting indicated there was a quorum. She indicated there was not a quorum. The video I looked at indicated there was not a quorum. Therefore, we reached a conclusion that it was not a valid meeting and they could not take any action. We asked for the city attorney to provide us an opinion on our conclusion to make sure we were going in the right direction. That opinion is attached in your packet, and it is consistent with the city attorney's opinion. So we are recommending that that case be closed and that he be notified that.
I have something to add for that,
Go ahead.
because I'm not completely in agreement with that, because we also have a section 3-203, sec 202, and it says that this section 202 and 203, it says, but a smaller number may convene and adjourn from time to time. This meeting was on the docket as a scheduled meeting. They were discussing city business, okay? And they were rudely interrupted. And even if it was not illegal, in my opinion, it definitely was unethical, because we had city residents in there. They were threatened to be put out. It was extremely disruptive. I think that when you handling taxpayers, you can be a little more polite. And I think the whole board, because we agreed and took a vote that we would look at video evidence together as a board when the opportunity was presented. And for whatever reason, that is not what's happening. So I don't agree with that.
Well,
Precisely because I feel like the city attorney should have also included this piece, because this is the charter that we're supposed to be enforcing. And the charter does speak of smaller crowds, and they did collectively come together, legally post a meeting, and they also have a right to wait for other members to show up. Who controls that? And they asked Mr. whoever to identify himself and what gave him the authority to throw them out using police or whatever force. So it was mayhem. So I'm not saying anybody totally did anything wrong. I do agree with the fact that it wasn't a quorum. I agree with that. That is true. But it's some nuances to this. Okay, it ain't just so cut and clean. And like I said, as far as the city attorney goes, if he's going to give us that information, this is the charter. I feel like we should have been given the whole story. And I would like to see, like I said, I thought it was more than one complaint to this piece. So I'm not exactly sure about that. So I think the board needs to sit down collectively and review this information and come up with a collective decision.
so if I can respond, since so we did get together and had this discussion as a committee. None of what Carol is saying right now was presented in any of our committee discussions. You didn't email it, you didn't bring it up, you didn't raise it, because we certainly could have done some research on it prior to bringing
I
the
did.
objection.
I said that the board discussed it, and when video is available, we like to collectively.
No, I'm talking about the committee that we've been, you, me,
Yeah,
and.
we was just emailing the other day, right?
Correct.
And when I emailed you, I said the board, in capital letters, voted to collectively look at the video evidence, and that I was under the understanding that it may have even been cut. So I'd like to look at that aspect of it.
Okay, and then we responded and indicated that we reviewed the video.
Who was
And
we?
then you said, well, I want Paul to pull the video and present the video.
If it's been
And
cut,
then
I want the
said,
uncut version.
take 2 minutes out of your schedule and look at the video for yourself.
And
Why
I
are we
did.
wasting time spinning wheels when we don't have to?
And I have.
And then
I-
your response
ju-
was okay.
And I
You
looked
never
at
brought
it,
up any
and
of
I
this.
looked at it, and we're in an open meeting, and I have a right to discuss it here in this
I
open meeting.
understand, but if
'cause
there's
that's
a
what this
committee,
is for.
then that's the whole purpose of the
Well,
committee.
well, the committee just had. When did you text me this? When did we text
we
this?
started texting a couple weeks ago.
No, but when was the last time we just had this exchange? A couple days ago, right?
After
Okay, so
after a couple of weeks.
Okay, so I just read this in the charter, and this is charter
The
business.
committee is recommending that it be closed.
You recommending it?
No, the majority of the committee, which would be Billy and I,
Yeah.
are recommending it be closed.
Well, I think we have to go by the charter, though, don't we?
Of
Don't we have to
Of
look
course
at the
we do.
charter?
We're
Oh, okay.
recommending to
May-
this board that it be closed, and that's not in violation of the charter.
Well, the
May I-
board voted to look at the
may I-
information.
May I intervene? May I
Yes, sir.
intervene, please? We don't, we're getting into some things now, which is why we have a committee.
Right.
If the committee is given assignment, and I'm sure most of the board is, whatever it takes to investigate it, is come back. I don't wanna revisit something that we have a committee that is the assignment to do and bring it, and we redo the same thing over.
So you don't want the whole board to look at the evidence?
Evident? Not if the committee.
Because the ad hoc usually do side work and bring it to the full board. That's usually how the ad hoc
That's what we
goes.
Well,
just
the
did.
conclusion is what we wanted, what the, well, I don't wanna get into a long discussion, let they have here from other board members, what they think right quick before we get into it. We'll be all night, back and forth, we don't wanna do that this week. We wanna be a little bit more.
Well,
Go ahead.
I mean,
You go ahead.
okay, so I would assume that they would have brought the evidence back, discussed it with us. I mean, I was part of that email, granted, and then we have an open discussion about what were some of the findings in the situation, and then we determine as a collective body, not as a committee.
Yeah.
Just a committee, but as a collective body, sorry guys.
And I think that is the idea. They bring the report now, we can take their report.
Okay, but
And we just,
y'all kind of aggressive. So what I'm saying is that I hear what she's saying. She found some new information that she wanted to bring forth. And I think we should look at that information as well. And I don't think that situation should be dropped, because this is ethics and accountability. An attorney is I get that you are an attorney.
And it's right here in writing.
And I don't disagree with an attorney. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not going to pretend as if I am an attorney. But if we're about ethics, what happened that day, it was truly unethical. And that individual should be, we should have some type of recommendation, not just drop the case, because the individual worked for the community, not the community worked for the individual. So there should be something that should happen, not just, oh, we're going to drop it. No.
no one ever said we dropped it.
That's what she just
I
said.
thought you just said that.
What, that's the committee bring it.
Okay.
What you're doing now is what's supposed to happen. This is what we found.
Okay.
And there's some more evidence. Not back and forth, we discussed what that was that they brought. That's actually what you're doing now,
Okay.
and that's what we should be doing. But we has started evolving to something that between committee members that it shouldn't be. So whatever they decide, everyone have a right to give their opinion after the report is given. Mike, you had your hand up quite a while.
So 302 on special meetings says the mayor or any two members of the city council may call a special meeting of the city council upon 24 hours notice to each city council member and the public stating the purpose of this meeting. was that the justification for dismissing? Because that does not address quorum. And my reading of the rule would be the special meeting was called,
Yes.
but because they did not meet quorum, those quorum rules still applied to that meeting. So the meeting wasn't would that be Kim's thing, except to convene and adjourn?
Correct. That's
So-
just the specific language.
So when you look at the attorney, what he provided was the 3-203, and that is speaking about the meeting being called to order, and then because it wasn't a quorum, become adjourned. The meeting doesn't go on and on and on, and then you adjourn it. It's supposed to be called to order. We don't have a quorum, we have to adjourn it, and you adjourn it at that time. If you continue the meeting, then it's not really a meeting. It should be adjourned right away. That's
It's just a
specific to the
discussion.
charter,
It would be just a discussion.
right
Right.
after the adjournment.
You
But-
can't vote, but you can still meet and discuss city business.
Right, but there's not a meeting anymore, it's just discussion, right?
Right.
Discussion.
So, and when it comes to the ad hoc committee, the recommendation comes to the board should discuss it. The recommendations come to us, we speak on it, and then we take a vote if we're gonna do it or we're not gonna do it.
Right, because the board can
That's it.
accept or reject our
Right.
recommendation.
Right.
Board's hands are never tied.
But when we're dealing with that charter language, the charter language is specific to open and close. Open and close is, there was not enough people here to have a proper meeting, so we have to close the meeting. That's what this is speaking of.
Right.
That's what you just quoted. It's the same thing. That's what happened. They didn't have a quorum, so they just was having discussion.
Right.
Now, they, as I understand it, they had a time limit to be in the dome.
Right.
And that's what they were going on. But because it got out of hand, the guy was telling them, well, y'all got to be out of here anyway.
Well, here's the video.
I already think, I just
Me
know.
too.
I'm just saying, that's what it was.
But when you say got out of hand, what
Right.
do you mean got out of hand? You mean the residents were out of hand, or because when I watched the video, it seemed like the meeting was going smooth, everybody was having a, discussion.
discussion.
And then all of a sudden, boom, this guy come in and he starts screaming across the room.
No, it was because of just the actions that took place.
What was the action?
Look at it. I'm just saying. I can't
Uh,
quote you. I'm just saying. I just know when I looked at it, I saw it happen.
Well,
As
let's
it happened.
play the video. We ain't gotta
because I
speculate.
didn't see no action.
Okay, two players I had, we had a time limit. We're dealing with quorum.
You still good.
And I think that, right, it might have been, it could have been happening. Something different could have happened with the public. Might have was unethical, whatever, but what we have a board to do with that. That's what we recommend, bad conduct, of making a remark. What type of action would this board be gonna take or something like that?
This is my thing. I'm not trying to nail anybody to the cross for that, because we all get in our feelings and get passionate about the work we do. And sometimes you view things in a certain light, and that's not actually what is taking place sometimes. And sometimes people are talking business and just overly passionate. And, so we all get our wires crossed up sometimes. We are all humans. I'm not, like I said, I clearly saw that it was not a quorum. And like I spoke to you before about the quorum situation. If it's not a quorum, I'm not trying to crucify Mr. Taylor. It's no quorum. However, as the Ethics and Accountability Board and as a resident of the city, if a meeting is legally posted, okay, because I don't control who's going to show up to that meeting as a citizen, and this meeting is properly posted, and my city council people are up there talking city business, and we know our city is a zesty city, and somebody from the background, because everybody don't know Mr. Taylor, let's make that clear, somebody that ain't even on the board, because I would think that the city council is mature enough to say, hey, we don't have a quorum, so we're going to have to adjourn this, blah, blah, blah. What we can do is have an open discussion. We can't take nobody. I would see that as the city council's job to adjourn. Now, if they up against a time limit, there's nothing wrong with Mr. Taylor saying, all right, y'all, you got to be out of here at a certain time, blah, blah. But to threaten citizens, to put them out, and to treat people in that manner for a publicly, legally scheduled meeting, to me, is shaky on the ethics side, because I might have been, I don't know what his intentions were. Maybe he wasn't going to do nothing to nobody. But what if I'm handicapped or something and I'm dragging, and it could have ended up in a worse light, a lawsuit or something. So I think ethically we could be a little more polite to our citizens and our elected officials, because that's just like if we come here to a scheduled meeting and we don't make quorum and he over there hollering out, you gonna get out of here, and well, we not gonna appreciate that. That's all I'm saying, is if we gonna hold the city council accountable and we want these other people to act accordingly, that means everybody.
Well, can I add, can I just add that I think it was a little bit more detail. I believe police officers were at that meeting as well as intimidation. And so that's a big concern. So you called the police on the residents.
And that's why I said it's unethical.
It's very unethical. It's very unprofessional. I'm not here to be a lawyer. I'm not here to, no, that's unethical.
Then I'm not here to get arrested for participating in a legally posted city council meeting.
You're just scaring the people.
So we're talking about a couple different things. Quorum has been brought up, special meetings have been brought up, ethics violations have been brought up. Can you remind me again, what was the original complaint? Was it the breaking up of a lawful meeting? Was it police force against citizens?
It was the breaking up of the lawful meeting.
I thought it was several things.
Yes.
That's why I asked for the complaints.
Actually, you have that, don't you?
They
Mr.
original.
King, you need me? I just need to know whatever they're gonna do on it.
Yeah, we got enough.
You got enough without me?
Okay.
I could put it up here. But it was just the initial complaint of that the meeting was
Well, I
over.
guess, what do we do about it? What do this board do?
So can I ask this question? Because it sounds like what you want to do is kind of send an admonishment in terms of how it was handled, even though there wasn't a technical violation of breaking up a meeting.
Exactly. See, you could, even though you work for the administration, okay, let's be clear. The administration works for the city residents, the people. And you can't work for me and treat me like that.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying,
Then why
Mr.
don't we focus on that? But in terms of the
well, that's what I
complaint-
said. That's what I said. But still, in all, we got to make sure we doing the right thing by the complaint too, whatever that is. And Ms. Shasta did bring it last week. Now we're rolling over into this week, so she don't have it. But Ms. Micah brought up a great point, and I think if we're going to be efficient and true as a board, we got to do due diligence.
We have done due diligence.
Well, I'm saying still at this point, every step of the way, we got to stick to it.
But we can't keep coming to the meetings wanting to do only work at the meetings. Most of our work needs to be done before we get to the meeting.
Right, like I had my stuff highlighted before I got here.
Okay, but more than that. So, because nobody wants to be here for 3 hours watching videos and doing whatever when we can get that done before.
Wait, hold on.
So all
No,
I'm
no, no,
saying
no,
is,
no, no, no.
I'm not opposed to saying
I'm doing this for free.
Everybody's doing it for free.
Okay, but I don't oppose. If you don't want to do it on city time, board schedule time, don't decide I'm gonna do it on my personal time. Because somebody get a check for all this, and they could put these videos together and have it ready for me when I get here.
Right, but then you got to sit here and watch it,
and that's fine. Because this is the time. This the time that I've allotted for this meeting time.
Well, and then this is what you get though. So
That's okay. We doing work. What we supposed to do.
All right, but let me know whatever you guys do with our recommendation, and then if y'all need me to do something, send me an email or something.
All right.
I'll follow up.
Okay, thank you. And we're back to the last person in the report. We'll discuss it now. What do we do?
Do you have a complaint?
from any of the
Yes, me, I have a
participants?
Yes.
Any complaints from any of the participants?
What was
Citizens?
the original complaint?
That's the,
If it, however many complaints it was pertaining to this,
just
yes.
one.
Just
Okay.
Original
one.
complaint, that,
Okay.
yes.
We had one complaint, and we turned it over to the ad hoc committee.
And that was a resident
And
person.
the ad hoc committee has just given us a report of what they found and what they think. Now, based on what information we've got, what do we do?
I think we need to, send a,
Oh, go ahead.
I think we need to send a letter out stating that you cannot use, force and intimidation tactics against the residents when they're coming for scheduled meetings. If it say be out by 7 o'clock, then you need to give them 15, 20 minutes to get their bags and stuff together and to clear out. Okay? Because they pay, because I understand that they run the city. I understand that. We pay these bills though. So don't invite me somewhere. Okay? Because I don't care about your dome under construction. That's not my problem as a citizen. So when I come to a scheduled meeting, I don't expect to be harassed. I don't expect to be locked up, whooped by the police, or any of that. Because it's starting to look like a dictatorship a little bit when you get to doing stuff like that. Because then the next thing you know, people that this side don't like, guess who got cracked in the head? So let's nip this in the bud on the front end and say, look, it's unethical to use police force to clear out a meeting that you haven't given people not even 10 minutes to round up their things and disperse. That's number one, because some of this stuff should be common sense when you're a public servant. To be courteous and kind to people when you get the opportunity. Because nobody was in there throwing stuff and busting caps and flipping over chairs. So what are you going crazy for? You can ask people nicely, okay, you guys have to convene at 7 o'clock. We got to shut it down. This is what's going on. And then give them, because this is their meeting, 5 minutes, 3 minutes to wrap up. Okay? Because was it going to be a fine or something if he went out of there at 7 on the nose? Well, what was going to be the penalty? That he ready to whoop citizens?
But from my understanding, I think that they had permission to use the dome until 8 o'clock. That's my understanding.
Was there a time on the notice? Was there a designated time
You know, that was.
on the notice?
Shouldn't all of this been
No,
brought
it's
to
just
us
it.
for our report? Like what time they had?
See,
Like
this-
we have no information.
And see, and this is what I'm saying why I'm not cool with this, just making decisions and closing out. Because there's a lot of evidence that we can hash out and go over. See how we're coming together collectively? And see, this is our job. It ain't your job to do this at the house. This your job to do this right here.
No committee then.
I mean, you can have a committee to round up the information, but it should come before the board. And it should be shared.
Information should, right?
And it should be shared openly. And then the board, regardless to what, and as far as we make a decision no, we should be, this is what we think, but here's the evidence. And then collectively as a board, we should make decisions. Because when one ad hoc committee is deciding to throw out something, then that voids out 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Okay, the complaint was but a violation of the charter. What the violation was, what happened was violated the charter. So they had the right to do it or not. And I guess that's the question we get to now is, what I haven't had is why that it happened that way. So I guess no one went to the individual that we're talking as for why did you do it? What did you use that gave you the right to do it? That's the question that haven't been asked. So we
Well,
go ahead.
it was asked in the video. Councilman Mays asked, who are you? And why do, basically asked him what gave him the right. Now, I guess we should investigate and ask him again. I guess is what you're saying, because that was asked in the meeting. And I think when you putting somebody out, he should have said, well, I'm the administrator and I'm over this, and so y'all gotta leave. That would have gave him a chance to explain himself in the moment.
I answer your question. I come
Well,
to
why
you. I
didn't
come to
council
you,
follow
and
up
then
on
you-
that issue? Why didn't council address it?
Address what issue?
Of the person that disrupted the meeting?
That's who made the complaint, a city council
Oh,
member.
he made the complaint, but how come he didn't, he still have other rights beyond that?
Well, I don't know if they're gonna follow up on their other rights.
He should follow up with a letter or, because I'm sure I think he know the person that did it. He should follow up.
Who should follow up with a letter?
I think Eric or a council person, president, should follow up with a letter to the person that disrupted the meeting.
So, we have a complaint that we're discussing. We had the ad hoc committee to, check into it and see if it's something that they, see what their recommendation is gonna be to the board, so that we can, vote to investigate it further or go into it further. We don't have all the information that we need to make that decision, because it's more information that's out there that has not come to us.
Right.
So what I want to move to postpone this vote from the board on the recommendation and get
Support.
the continued information
Okay.
from the ad hoc committee, so that they can do a due diligence in getting more information back.
Okay.
Because it sounds like there should be information from the person who disrupted the meeting, and to why did he interrupt the meeting, or what was on his mind, what happened on his, what he was thinking, why he did what he did in his capacity of authority. So I move that we postpone this continued discussion on this complaint.
You
And-
may postpone it or send it back
To the ad hoc committee.
Postpone it, that's two different things.
Okay.
So your motion is
To send it back to the ad hoc committee for more information.
For investigation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I support that.
Okay, discussion.
Yes.
It's just that just to show, I do have the notes, the agenda topics, and there were 2 meetings.
Well, we will, that's not, we got a motion on the floor, we're going through that.
Okay.
Discussion. Give me a McIntyre.
Okay, I will make it my business to do due diligence and talk to Mr. Taylor, if he's willing to speak with me, which I don't see why he wouldn't be, to follow up on this and to ask him, about his actions and why he dispersed the meeting in that manner. Maybe we can get some understanding. I don't know, should this be a verbal conversation? Would you guys like me to put it in writing?
It should come, it should be a official,
Letter from
Yep.
the
So that-
the secretary?
yes.
Could he be invited to the meeting? Was that the
I think
was
he
a-
should. I think he should come to the full meeting.
I think he should come to the meeting.
Yeah, so
We
everybody
got-
can.
Because for transparency
Yeah.
reason.
Why everything gotta be a
It
secret?
don't have to be a secret. And he used to be a council person,
Yeah.
right?
Transparency.
So yeah, he need to come to the meeting.
He did it in the open. Explain yourself in the open.
Mike? Yeah.
I was just gonna say, can we get a written report from the ad hoc committee or some sort of like, here was the complaint, here are our findings, here are our recommendations based on these things?
Was it emailed at one time?
We were
I'm
having,
sure
I'm
that
gonna
won't be, probably don't have one of them here now, so I don't know.
I think it should be.
Are you asking the ad hoc committee?
what is the question again?
Could we get like something in writing? Because I missed last meeting, so coming and just saying that there was a recommendation to dismiss with no reasoning for dismissal?
Well, let me say this. We that's another reason. I'm fine with the report, but even in the email exchange, I was not in agreement with that ever. Okay? Ever. So for me, that within itself is a problem. To have a side committee coming in here and pushing a narrative, in my opinion, okay, Because I told you that the board voted to bring whatever evidence, especially when it's video evidence and it is a complaint. How come the whole board can't see it together collectively?
So I have a question, because now are we supposed to have a City of Flint email so that if somebody wanted to subpoena or people wanted our conversation, that little transcript, they would be able to, you know?
They don't recognize us that way.
No, this board might have one. and
We don't have anything but our pen and pencil,
Okay.
paper. This is all we have.
But should we though?
We should.
And this, that's it.
Because we could get sued, I would think, or
It's child protectors. And
that
other,
don't mean you ain't gonna get investigated.
and of course, in the discussion.
I just think whatever, I just think whatever evidence the board comes up with, whatever evidence the ad hoc committee is using to come to their decisions, I think they need to have to openly share that information with the entire board to support whatever it is that you're pushing. I think it's only fair.
And I'm sure that committee is willing to do that. It's just that, you know, we gotta have that understanding and do it, you know, and go through the proper processes to get these issues resolved.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll go to a vote. All in favor, sending this back to the ad hoc committee, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed? Okay, send that report back for more investigation from the ad hoc committee. Hopefully that happen for the next meeting. We will move next to, then we go back to council complaints.
Take one, pass it.
Okay, blank, vote for discussion. We have a number for this, complaint number 153, complaint number 153-17408. For discussion.
Is this our jurisdiction, or is this something for a lawsuit, like a civil suit or a personal?
It sounds like more
That's
personal.
self-governance.
Yeah, I think it's about a T-shirt that's being sold with information on it that's not appropriate or whatever about colleagues. So I don't know what we can do about this.
I mean, I don't know if it's legal.
I mean, it is. You
It
can do
is
whatever you
legal,
want to do,
right.
freedom of speech.
Outside of your job,
Yeah.
as long as you don't wear it here, they can't
And
wear them
then,
here.
but this is, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
This is my question though. One, what proof do you have that this person is selling? Have you saw somebody purchase one of these garments from this person? Where are these garments being sold? You know, are you sure this is who's selling these garments? Supporting evidence for that.
Whose money are they using?
Right,
I mean, that's a lot of
because
questions.
this person has their own shirts, and I've never seen them sell their own stuff.
Right.
So
right.
I find it hard to believe they out here peddling these type of shirts.
I mean,
I think
I've
this
seen
is
them getting-
outside our.
Right.
I've seen them on Facebook. like,
Right,
for
but I'm
sale.
saying, how do
Right.
you know who's selling them though? Can you be
Right.
sure
We
that
could easily track the point of order, not the email
Well,
address
that's-
to
well-
the owner. I mean, we could find these, but is this our jurisdiction?
I don't think it's our jurisdiction, but
Because it's a store.
I don't believe he doing it because he's not that savvy. They're not that computer savvy. They're not savvy.
I mean,
But
I mean,
whoever
it's
took
not
the photos
ethical.
would own the photos. So there could be like some, but again, that's not.
But now we gotta investigate who took the photos and sold
That
the
ain't got nothing to
photos.
do
We
with all
don't have,
that. Yeah, we ain't got
you
nothing
can't
to
do
do with
nothing
that.
with
I think we have other
That's-
business to do.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Other than this.
That's just like
petty.
this shirt. You as a body, y'all could tell me it's not appropriate for me to wear this shirt.
Right.
So it's self-governance. The council has to make a decision to vote to say that this shouldn't be allowed in council chambers or at our meetings, or for that matter. This is sound like a business that this person has of his own. And if he's selling T-shirts in the chamber, then you need to stop him from selling in the chamber. Or you can't stop a person from being in business if the city government allow him to be in business, or if they're not stopping them from selling
Yeah.
shirts. But we gotta stay in our lane. This complaint is something that should be taken care of at their.
And they don't understand our role. Evidently, when they send a complaint like this,
Anytime
they don't understand our role
right.
as a ethic and accountability board. This is petty and it's unethical.
Yeah.
But you know, suppose some of their residents wear their
But I'm
T-shirt to council meetings.
That's who.
Whatever, they gonna put a complaint in about that?
That's what happened.
Well, that's
And let's
who
be
wear it.
honest though. Let's be honest though. Is it really ethical? It might not be nice.
Right.
It might not be very nice.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I said, is it unethical? Because it might not be very nice.
But is it ethical to make money off of someone else's image? I don't think that's ethical, but again, it's not our problem.
And then is he really? You know, you got to prove that they slaying him.
No, they need to make their own little rules and
Yeah,
stick
and
to
handle
them.
it, handle
And
their
call a lawyer.
business.
Yeah, stick
Yeah.
to them.
Okay.
But here's what I see with that. Number one is that using someone as a picture might be something that come, maybe by criminal, and put on a shirt. If they can't follow it that way, and we have nothing to do with it. But I seen the shirts in the chamber, but I didn't see it live. I imagine a council member
Right.
walking over that shirt and get up in there and
Right,
do
that's a
it.
different-
You might
yeah.
have a problem.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
But I haven't saw that. Is the word a slang? I don't see anywhere where it's been established that it's a slang. So you have
It's in the
there's
urban.
not really anything unethical with that.
Well, that's
It is in the urban.
It's in the urban dictionary.
Yeah.
So it could be.
Yeah.
But like the other thing is, no, we get these complaints because the council is not gonna, we don't do this. They
Right.
use us to do that, and we're not gonna be.
No
we're not
self-control
gonna be
within
that
their
body
own.
that do things. They got rules.
right. And they need to handle. And they need to get themselves together. They too
And
old for
think
these
that
things.
most of this stuff is what they should be
Make
doing,
me so
taking
sick.
care of. And they try to use this body to justify them as not. It's something we're not gonna get into.
No, we're not gonna fight their battle.
So,
They
I'm,
personal ass.
so we got in it, my suggestion is
We're not gonna fight their personal battles.
this is not part of, come under the jurisdiction of this body, as a child, it's not a child violation. As far as I know, it's not an ethics violation. And there's not really, the only thing we can do about it unless someone sees something that I don't see.
They can go to court and sue each other, but, you know, this is out of our jurisdiction.
So, Chair would entertain a motion on what this body gonna do with
Dismiss this.
Yeah, now this can be dismissed.
it. Yes.
And we have to give an explanation why, you know.
Because this is personal, and we
Right.
don't handle personal
Right.
rafts and beef.
No.
Or just it doesn't fall under the charter, and we
That too.
investigate violations
And
of the
if
charter.
you, somebody can send them a letter and let them know that.
So
That's protocol.
let me get that in a motion. Just for the motion there. Who's gonna make the motion?
I'll make it.
Thank you.
I make a motion to dismiss the complaint number, sorry, 153-17480.
Second.
Move and second. Any discussion? No discussion. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, have the same choice. Opposed. Okay, shall move on to what I had is on the Peacock thing. Mayor did send something out today, I understand. Active is for me, but I want the whole board to see it, and I haven't gone through it. I haven't go through it and read it. I'm not gonna do it after we read it, because I like to research, see exactly what it's saying. You all have a copy of it. You can,
Yeah, just keep them in our file.
I will look at it, so if you see something that question to any of you, you're welcome to text me, email, so say anything
And
about it.
This is for you to sign. Who signed this?
That's for me.
For you to sign?
This
Okay.
is information for me. I just want the whole board to
So,
know that.
okay.
This information's here, and I will address it to the mayor to be signed, but if someone sees something, in the next couple of days, you can email me or you can text me, if I don't hear, I will take it that everyone is okay with it, and I will sign it. If I don't have an objection to some things on that, then I will sign it and we'll move on.
Okay. And do you have the physical card yet?
No,
Okay.
you got to sign for it.
Okay, got to sign for
Oh,
it, I
this
got
is
you.
just based on my signature.
Okay, got you.
That the board agree, we agree as a
Well,
board.
Ms. Shasta, have you got you some water yet?
Out of her
Oh.
pocket.
Tomorrow is the closing date for the ombudsman to take an application for the ombudsman
Excuse me.
position. We need to start moving on. Get connected of all the applicants we have. And we're gonna have to make a decision on how we're gonna, do we look at them, go through them, and we pick which ones we think we want to interview, or do we pick them all inside the interview, and we gotta do this, and be mindful. This is not gonna be a few-minute process, and we're probably gonna have to do this on a call meeting when we do the interview of the applicant. So, but we need to start thinking about setting a date and how are we gonna go through the process.
Would this be another option for an ad hoc committee to review all of the applications and bring their suggestions?
I think we don't need we didn't use an ad hoc committee before, we used the, committee as a board. This is some of our second go round. And I think it's better with no confusion to have everybody view stuff at the same time.
And
View the application.
also review the charter because, as y'all know, I'm wrestling with this process. I am, and I should have highlighted it, I didn't. But it says nowhere that we have to let anybody else govern our process completely. I feel like this board is being taken advantage of, as usual. I feel like if HR and their team, because he said his team, I feel like if his team can see, our team should be able to see. It is our situation to govern, and I just don't feel like we govern.
And we have to oversee.
And we ain't had the opportunity. Somebody's overseeing us.
Well,
I'll let you,
will we be given every application or just what HR sends us?
Probably.
well, they
just
charge,
the sentence.
well,
We don't know.
now, let me go into now. Most of it, only 3 of us was here when we did the first ombudsman. And at that time, and the history, and I can see Ms. Carroll is still has no history. We never could see anything. The only way we saw the application was we had to go down to the HR and they said it. I never went, because I just like she got a problem with it, I didn't agree with the process there. Is they never brought anything and brought it to us. Now, most of them went down and sat down, the HR laid it out there, and they even came down and gave us the questions that we could ask each candidate. I didn't agree with that. We had a problem to do our own questions. Now, but what I have did, and I'm not gonna try to say what past chairman did, and how they did what they thought, right, and what they thought they could do, and what they had behind them. We're not gonna go back with that. But what I did do since I became chair, is I brought H&R here twice. Now, we asked, now, and it all depends whether we agree with what they said or not, it all depends. We asked for different things, and they did it. Now, I'm not gonna say the last time he was there, we asked what we want, he explained what he gave us and everything, and this whole board was in agreement. And that's what we got. But if we had second thought that we didn't ask the right question, didn't get what we want, well, that would be our fault. So I'm not, I don't know, but the Charter Duke here, HR, there's starting the process and getting it through, it's gotta go through that. There's no doubt about that.
They collect the applications.
But I bought had HR here twice, so each one can say this is what I want and this is what I don't like, and he can tell them that. Now, and if we didn't do that, and we didn't, I haven't seen anything that we told them we want. Now, we wanted that they hadn't tried to do.
Well, it doesn't, let me say, it don't matter what we tell them, because they doing what they want, Mr. King, okay? We thought they were just gonna redact the names. They have reprinted every application and every resume. So now I don't know if they've tweaked the information on there. Now, I understand you got a lot of faith in HR, and I know you love HR and all them. I don't trust them, Mr. King. So you could take some whiteouts and you can write down who everybody's name is and wipe their name out on the application and give me their original application. Because Mr. HR, I don't trust you. I don't trust nobody in this administration. I don't trust half the city council. I have trust issues. And if I don't have to trust you, I don't want to trust you. And the fact that this man sat right here and told us how him and his team vetted these applications and who all they ain't gonna let through, and then out of say however many 11 applications, 8 applications, we end up with 3. And then writing his document that says the requirements and the disqualifying factors, AI, your cover letter and or a minus resume, but 3 applications here and one of them ain't even got a resume. So now if this person with no resume, I'm gonna say it again, made it through and that's a disqualifier, what did you disqualify them other people on then? What was the basis for you disqualifying them? So excuse me if I think they might be a little impartial or have a personal stake in this game. But this is serious business, and our city depending on us. So we don't need to be falling for the fluff and the old shake every time they throw it out there. Because one thing about it, these people is well seasoned on manipulation and BS. So now, they didn't give us what we asked for. We asked for them to just redact the name. We ain't asked for no whole reprinted application and or resume.
And the only thing they supposed to do, what I understood, they supposed to do based upon the charter is, not even based upon the charter, based upon what their responsibility is to do background checks.
The law.
You know, they do the background checks and give us what we need. But we had a very difficult time going through that process.
It's
The
hard
first
to
time-
get them applications
it's hard
up out
to
of them
get
every
anything.
time.
But this time, you know, this was the worst ever I had seen in terms of applications, the quality of the applications. So, but I tell you, they can skip through that application process, but they can't skip through the interview process. Because that interview process will, you know, it'll pull out, usually it pulled out what we wanted to know.
Well, see, that's fine, but this is my problem. Say they don't like her, him, and him. Well, we don't know what they use to disqualify
You talking
her,
about the
him, and
selection
him.
of the
Right. So
applications.
now they might got 8 people that they done hand selected. Because like I said, I don't trust them. So now here you is done disqualified these 3. I don't even know why you disqualified them. Now you done lost 8 people of your choice in here for me to select from. No, you don't care because you done selected all 8 of them. And then here we pick one of them. Well, guess what's going to happen? They ain't going to never investigate nobody that brung them. Okay? They going to be moving at the direction of whoever brung them. And then this board and office is going to be rendered helpless and useless. Again. It ain't that hard to see the plays. Now, you can pretend like you're missing them, but this is child's play.
Okay, one thing I'll say, I'm not at that H&R or anyone else in this downtown, not even here, but fairness and honesty and trying to get things did the right way, I believe in. I don't care if it's family member, my mother.
That's
Just
you.
so she go now, and I don't, and she would tell you, if it's came down to right and wrong, it's her. I'm gonna take that side because I'm raised that way. Sometimes we have to do something, but here's the thing we got, people. I don't care if they send 900 candidates. It's our position to interview the candidate. If you don't like any of it, you do not pick them.
That's the way
One,
it's
you
done.
do not pick them. You get until you get the candidate that the majority of this board wants. Number 2,
That's a waste of time.
once you hire the ombudsman,
If they work for the wrong people, you ain't getting rid of them.
let me finish. If we hire ombudsman, only one can hire ombudsman is this board. Remember that. It's this board. If that ombudsman is not doing the job of this board, it's this board job to get rid of that ombudsman. If they work for someone else, it's because we let them. We don't hold them accountable.
You need 5 votes.
Well, it's the board. Well, I believe in democracy. I believe in majority, even if I'm on the losing end. Majority. I believe in democracy. I'm not. I don't believe in dictatorship, and I have no desire. But I'd like we all understand that we have. This is in our hand. This is in our hand.
But it's not. It's not. We saying it's not. Because Mr. King, you said yourself that they're tricky and that they've misled you on several occasions. So where if you're being misled?
Well, we haven't hired anyone.
I'm just
We haven't
saying.
interviewed
But
anyone.
if you start off wrong, Mr. King, if you start off wrong, how do you think you're gonna finish right?
Am I gonna finish right?
How you make it? How you do wrong all through the process and end up right? Show me that trick, cause I'd love to see it. They usually say how you start off is how you
Well-
end up.
Well, I started off trying to get
Well, you
right
good.
people's
It's
here,
not you, Mr.
the
King.
right people's here for this board to decide what they want. And if I bring someone in here and this board don't demand the answer they want, and they make a vote on it, that's majority. I'm not gonna, I won't do that. But the problem we have now is the process. The application process closed tomorrow. Whatever application we have, we gotta deal with.
Same thing.
So,
We gotta deal with, unless you know a way to go out there and do application yourself. The charter gonna give you another way to do it. So it all comes down on how did this charter say the process must work. And we work within that charter. And it's what it is now. We done went, it's a year. We going into the second year without an ombudsman position. And we can fight about how the process work or not, but we gotta do, either way, we gotta make a move on this and do something.
okay, and I recommend our next meetings will be focused solely on, well, unless we get some serious complaints, be solely, on, selecting an ombudsperson, our next meetings.
Your second,
Because this is September,
your second meeting.
yeah, the second meeting,
Your first meeting is your business meeting. You have to have that as a business meeting.
and we can squeeze a little
You
something.
can put that in there as
Well,
well.
we need to
But your
focus,
second meeting, we put the second meeting in place for that purpose.
right,
Anyway,
because how many meetings will we have in November and December? We have, October, but how many meetings will we be meeting? I know you sent
6
us,
for the rest of the year, 6
our
or 7.
interim and buzz person sent us a schedule.
And I
I don't
also
have
want to
it.
say this to the board too, in fairness to Miss Shasta, because I know she get here and we be like, do you got this? Did you do this? And Miss Shasta has been filling 3 positions.
Yes.
Not just one. She been doing the ombudsman's job. She been doing the secretarial work. She been doing the investigative work. She been filling us in. So, and I know we put her in a difficult situation when we bring her to this table and we point out her shortcomings.
Right.
So I do want to take this time to say, this lady has literally been a one-man show for over a year, going in her pocket at some times to finance this board and keep us going. If it wasn't for Miss Shasta, we would have been and fell apart. I do want to be impartial.
Right.
I want to be impartial and fair to everybody. But I think we got to consider that. I mean, and she's worked, like I said, she ain't had no financing. So that limits what kind of job she can do for us. She only can give so much of her money to our cause. And I think that speaks volumes when a person digs into, because if it was me, y'all would have fell apart. I wouldn't give up $1 for this
The
crap.
office wouldn't have no water.
You wouldn't have nothing.
You bring
You'd
your
be
own.
out, you be writing this mess on a paper towel or toilet paper or something.
Bring your own water. But yeah, we need to focus on that because I know we, in December, November, December, I don't know how many meetings we had those months. But I'm sure in December, it may be one or none. I don't know. So we need to focus on that. And I know there's gonna be some call meetings too, to review the applications and to conduct the interview. That's usually done.
I need the authentic application with the
That's
names.
usually done in the
redacted.
evening, the interview process.
They could put a piece of tape or a piece of paper over the names. This they done retyped everything. Yeah, right. I don't trust that. Period. I don't care who Mother Teresa could tell me she ain't made no moves. I wouldn't believe it.
So, okay, Ms. Shasta?
The dates for November is what you want to know?
Yes.
November the 14th, Tuesday, November the 14th.
Mhm.
Thursday, November the 30th. And we just have Tuesday, December the 12th.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So we only have, we have October, we have the 2 meetings in October.
October the 10th and 26th.
So we have 5 more meetings. to, kind of try to wrap this up?
No, we want to have 5 regular meetings.
Okay,
I'm sure no one's gonna be here November 30th. So you have
what
probably.
was that again? I'm sorry.
You have one meeting probably in November, unless we come and do it, unless we pull it.
We can do a special
No.
meeting.
Well, we probably gonna do special meeting in October, anyway else, but it won't be a scheduled meeting. You won't have the one in December.
Only
So
one in
we-
December.
So we probably end up having 3 in October, we might end up doing November.
Okay, yeah, October's
But
kind of,
that's something we're gonna have to figure, we're gonna have to figure it out as a board. But I guess we need to see when we wanna look at all the applicants we got and sort those out.
okay.
And that might need to be a call meeting and then come at the next meeting and we can sit down and discuss the process we're gonna go there, interviewing applicants.
Yeah, I think I'll call a meeting and find out when it's right, when it's the best time for people to,
Right. So I guess we need to be looking at,
in
I
October.
can make sure I have, because we had the last 2 of the lists that came in this week. No, because the last 3 applicants actually didn't go through HR. They came through the other system, they come to email to me.
Okay,
So that's where we asked them to process and it goes out to the state agent, whatever, that do that.
background checks.
And all that, they sent the applicant name and they named to me and Mr. Williams, Ms. Harris, I mean. So I haven't even printed them out and looked at them, but I have all over for the board there. It's at the board, I can make sure I got a copy for everyone and we can sit down and go over those.
Okay.
And we can build out if we want to deal with everybody, or we just want to look at the one we think is the top prospect. That's the board decision.
Can you arrange it, maybe if we vote up, if everybody in agreement, like arrange it for next week? Because the second Tuesday in October, we have our regular meeting.
Yes, on the 10th.
It's will of the board now. We can do it
Because
next
we-
Thursday.
Because we got 2 meetings.
I can have information that I'll probably be, at this time, next Thursday, I'll probably be in the area of the west. I'll be back Monday, following Monday, but, without me, it's gonna be Tuesday. But you don't need me to call a meeting and do it, but we can, all of them got that power to call a meeting and do it. Sit down, I can always
Zoom in.
Zoom in, if you pick the day I'm out of town.
Mr. King, is it any way that we can possibly tell HR to put tape or put a piece of paper and tape it down and cover the names so that we can have the original application? So that we don't have
You
to
just
put,
want to put it on written application, they did electronic,
are they electronic?
they was electronic, they
All
just
of
printed
them.
it off the computer.
Oh,
Yeah,
all of them,
yeah,
that's why
filed
they
it
all in that
electronic.
format then, so we
okay.
can't get the,
That's why you had the blackout on.
We have to keep everything.
Well, the only ones.
Right.
I have the copy of the ones that went through HR.
like I said, I don't see why they can see what we can't see.
The ones that not blacked out is the ones that came to me and Mr. Harris. I think there's 3 of those, and I won't send them to HR. I can have them print them out and I can just block the name out.
Okay, well, since they already redacted the names, so this is the original copies coming off the computer as it was transmitted to them, is what we're saying. I almost want them to open that file while we looking in printer. I don't know, but okay, well, I guess. I don't trust them, I don't trust them none. Not even a tinge. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that.
So, let's think about that, that date. Now, if we don't do it, then
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. King. Okay, we found out. We found out last time. I found out something.
so,
Okay.
look at your schedule, and let's see about Monday.
Not
Oh,
nothing,
we can
something
take some-
early next week,
Take some
maybe.
date that everyone can,
I'm available after 2:30 or 3:30, whatever you guys, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends, if you tell me in advance, I can get freed up on the weekend.
I'm good in the date, but, there's something else I think the board, we're gonna have to do some decision. We're gonna have to, do some recommendation. Is we can no longer sit and not, recommendation is the conduct of the council. We got to look at those things, we got to look at it. And careful and make some recommendation on how the best the council can get into conducting a meeting, to conduct the way they conduct those meetings, and everyone got the ideas and what they see and what they see, and it all might be different. We need to sit down, all up, put these ideas together so I can present it to them, what we're seeing as a group, and what needs to be done. It's bad look for the city, it's bad look for the council, and it is extremely bad look for our young people. When you start getting things where you on social media with kids and stuff, and now you don't went way too far. Council need to be, they need to be barred from trying to have doing business on social media. It's just totally out of hand, and it's
Unethical and
yeah, it's
unprofessional.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I don't wanna just keep focusing on council as well, because I want the camera guy for the city, he also need to be looked at as well, because, you know, he posts some, he highlight with his camera some events that probably should stay hidden, so he's an agitator in my opinion.
Well, that's
Yeah.
probably, well, that's the process. We, here, this is the business of the city. We
Well,
can't control,
Isn't
Well,
the
no matter how
person
you-
that's
When they
recording?
start acting up, turn the
Is-
camera off.
No, wait, hold on. Isn't the person who records our meeting and record the council? They're not hired through the city, or is
No.
this free work, or?
No, it hired, council hired for their recording. We hired for our recording. We control now, they did something from our meeting,
Okay,
you know,
I see
like
what you're saying,
that.
okay.
Now, we're doing it now, it's something council
Okay, so
do.
you saying they
They
gotta
have,
go.
that's,
They gotta go.
that's up
for
to the
themselves.
council.
Okay.
That's
Our-
what they pay him.
But we
But-
use
But
that.
our thing
his
is,
service.
But if he mess us up,
It's
then
in
we
here.
get on that
Get on,
case.
yeah, so,
okay.
but we can only deal with elected officials and city.
Gotcha.
So, so, I understand what you're saying, but we have no say unless
Stay in our lane
it's
too.
from our meeting. But either way, and it's not just what's going on at the council chamber, it is it's not all
It's not all council.
quite their fault.
No,
There's other things going on,
it's a whole
but
lot.
it's still up to them to conduct themselves
You know,
up
decent
there. It doesn't matter where
in a
we
professional
came
manner.
from.
To a certain degree, because how many times you're gonna allow somebody to hit you? So I'ma disagree with that to a certain point, because you're gonna holler. I mean, I'm not old school, I'm new school.
Somebody hit me,
So-
wear them out.
See, and then.
And see how
they-
polite you is,
Yeah,
now
see
you
how
wearing
polite.
somebody out already.
Bumping into each
So if this stuff is being recorded, but see, we're only seeing half of what's going on. We're not seeing the other half. That's the invisible people. That's the people who sit in the back. That's the
Right.
administration. That's the mayor. Let's call it all out, because we're not gonna just highlight the 9 council members. We're gonna highlight all of the dirty deeds that's being
But
done.
this
Ouch.
is hearsay at this point. What we have is complaints that we handle and violations of the charter. Whatever goes back in the back of that meeting is hearsay unless it is brought to us or it is recorded. To get into that and to point fingers like that, we could all get in trouble. The complaints that are brought before us, the city holding our elected officials and city employees to the charter. That's why we're here.
Well, I think the point that she was just making
Right.
is because he spoke on the city council's
Right.
conduct, and she's saying it ain't just the city council that has poor conduct.
It's other things.
It's
You
some
went
other,
into
and a
And
lot
I
of
think-
times. Wait a minute, let me say this too. And a lot of times when you see people, because I've been a victim of some of this. A lot of times when you see people turning it all the way out at a meeting off go, there are some things that have taken place behind the scenes that have antagonized some of these situations that you're not privy to seeing.
Right.
So,
And on the phone.
And,
So we're not gonna just sit here
You know-
and blame council for all of this.
You know, for the sake of time, I
Yeah.
would like to make a, we can discuss
Do it.
city council all night.
Do
Yeah.
So make a motion that we end our meeting.
Second.
And that, come back with a clear mind so we can focus on things. I'm Buzz person.
Third.
Yes.
second.
well, I want you to come back with it. I want you to think about it and send it a date so we can call it a meeting.
Oh, yeah,
And we can get
we
some
gotta think
information.
about that.
So I don't want you
Have her to
leave
send out an
anything.
email.
We're not doing anything until the next meeting.
Okay, because we gotta let, Attorney Young and William, Mr. Harris know, we probably need to send out an email and see what the best time
And I'm
is.
sure Mr. Harris is in California, but I'm sure he's looking at it.
He probably living his best life. He
I
ain't
had
looking
asked
at
him to
us. He
look at
telling
it,
a
so,
story. He's somewhere probably eating lobsters and crabs and drinking sangria,
I asked him,
pretending like he
what,
watching
if
us.
he had time, you gotta remember, it's only about,
It's
about
young there
4
too. It's
o'clock out
early
there.
out there. Yeah, he living his best
out
life.
there. Yeah, and that's where I'll be in this
Sunny California.
Thursday,
Okay,
I'll be fine out there. So, the meeting is adjourned. Anyone else got anything, we just talk about it, we want to talk about it.
Okay, I do want to say this. When I say I don't trust nobody, I don't be directing that to you. I think they be playing you and setting you up, and then you come back with a sincere heart. But I think they be done did you before they send you back. So I don't be directing that at you, Mr. King, and I want to make that
Carol,
clear.
how long I know you?
gonna-
I want to make that clear, Mr. King. That ain't for you, Mr. King.
How long I know you now?
Quite some time, but I want to say that because I know sometimes my conversation is offensive. So
You still my buddy.
I want you to know that ain't for you, Mr.
I like your
King.
fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's still an open meeting. We gotta discuss the applications and stuff.
I don't know, maybe that should be closed.
That's what so that's what the meeting is gonna be about.
Just let me know.
Okay.
If it's open, I'll come. If it's closed, I won't.
Well, it could be, well, it wouldn't even matter because we're not using any name.
Oh,
Okay.
But we will check, we found out whether it was legal or not.
Okay, well, you all have a nice
And you
evening.
have one, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. You know, I appreciated your smile when I said I was able to pray sky. It's beautiful.
have a good evening.
Yeah.
All right, you have one, and we will
took out an open meeting